My name's Professor Tim Campbell. I'm a visiting Professor of International Management at the university, and I look after the EMBA locally, the one that runs in the Middle East. So what we're going to do tonight, is I'll just spend about 15 minutes having a look at the Northampton EMBA program, just tell you all about it, a little bit about the university, and then at the end of that, I'll take any questions that you might have. Okay, so let's start. Actually, just before I start talking about the program or the university, just a quick word about Stafford, just to explain what Stafford's role is in the relationship, because up to this point, you'll be dealing with the academic consultants at Stafford, seeing the website and whatever else. So Stafford is the very first provider of distance learning education in the Middle East, 30 years ago. And as I say, I'm sure you've had a look at the website. You'll see that Stafford is the resource centre for 6 UK universities and has programs from certificates all the way to doctorates. And what Stafford does, it offers marketing, recruitment, administration and support services to our partner universities locally, because this is, of course, is difficult for them to do from their home campus. And that's what it does for the University of Northampton. Marketing, recruitment and administration and fee services for the university. But it's important to remember that once you're enrolled, you're completely a member of the University of Northampton. That's where your degree comes from, that's where the academics come from, and everything else. So that's just a word about what Stafford does. On to the university. So in the UK, there is a town called Northampton, about 100 miles north of London, about an hour in the train. And there you will find the university. And it used to be just on the outside of the town, excuse me, but now it's right in the middle of the town. And that's picture there. It's basically everything within those red dots. And this whole entire brand new campus opened just five years ago now. So it really is an important part of the university, of the town rather, the university. And it's right there in the centre of Northampton. And you can have a look on the University of Northampton's website for all the information you need, but as a very brief introduction, education in Northampton dates back to about the 13th century, but the modern University of Northampton's origins date back about 100 years. It's got about 14,000 students, 1,500 staff. But have a look at the university's website itself and you'll find out all about it. Because what we want to concentrate on is this EMBA program. Now, the Executive MBA program is this here. There's 8 modules, and you start off with critical issues in business, which also serves as an introductory module. So we do a lot of academic skills and referencing and how to write assignments and how to find information. All that type of thing is in that module as well. So you start off with that. You'll do all the other modules, and then you finish off with your business research project, which many of you will know as a dissertation. So you see there you've got all of the traditional elements of an MBA program, managing people, finance, accounting, strategy, all that type of thing, marketing. But you've also got some nice contemporary stuff there about leadership and critical issues and innovation. So the whole program takes about 18 months to go from the start to the finish. And I'm sure you'll have the next start date actually is just about 3 weeks away on the 7th and 8th of July. And I'm sure you will have seen the timetable for that, but you'll see these workshops are about 10 weeks apart. So you start with critical issues in business, and then this order can change a little bit. You always start with critical issues and end with your business research projects. The order in the middle can change. But basically, you start with critical issues, then about 10 weeks later, you come back and do your next module, then you come back about 10 weeks later and do your next module, etc. So the workshops are taught face-to-face by University of Northampton professors, and they're taught over 2 days. Friday, we go from 3 o'clock until 8, and then Saturday from 9 until 5. And as I mentioned, the next start date, intake 32 for this Middle East intake, which means we've been going for about 11 years now, I think. Starts in about 3 weeks, on the 7th and 8th of July. So what happens in these workshops? And of course, it depends on the tutor and how what they want to do. But if I'm to sort of generalise what tutors do, and I teach the organisational behaviour module, by the way. We introduce the key concept. We use short case studies, exercises, business games, whatever. So it's not just somebody standing there talking to you for 2 days. We demonstrate where to find resources, your books and articles. That's all online, the university's library. And then importantly, on those 2 days, we tell you exactly what we want you to do to successfully complete your assignments. And the satisfaction with these workshops is very high. People really do enjoy it. The interaction, not only just with the tutors, but with their classmates as well. Assessment, all of these modules are assessed through some form of an assignment. So it might be an essay, it might be a report or a case study. In the finance module, they have a multiple choice quiz, which is worth 50% of the mark. So various forms of assignment, but no exams. And the reason for that is because the university far prefers people to have the time to really think about and create assignments rather than exams, which are more about how much you can remember. And I mentioned that last module, the business research project or dissertation, if you like. That's your big project, and you have a supervisor for that. And that's about 12,000 words. Entry requirements, so they're standard for an MBA degree. Usually you'd have a bachelor's degree and then at least 2 years of relevant work experience. And by relevant, I mean you don't need to have the title, in your job title, it doesn't need to say manager, just that you have managerial responsibilities. You plan, organise, lead people, control what's been doing, these sorts of things. And if you look into what you actually do on a day-to-day basis, I'm sure you'll find you probably do have these sorts of responsibilities. Now, if you don't have a bachelor's degree, then we're looking for 5 years or at least 5 years of relevant work experience. Loads of support on the program. There's a program leader from the University of Northampton who takes the business research project module. I look after things locally, and you'll see me at the workshops. There's a different tutor, of course, for every module, different expert tutor. There's Northampton and local administration. The virtual learning environment we use is called NILE, the Northampton Integrated Learning Environment. And every module has one of these. And it's where your lecturer will post lecture slides, anything they want, videos, activities. And it's also where you submit your assignments, where you get your feedback, everything like that. So that all occurs within this Northampton Integrated Learning Environment. And there's a very extensive online library. All the things you'll need, you'll be able to access through the University of Northampton's online library, all the resources you need. So just a few things to finish off with. Why the Northampton MBA? Firstly, because it's a very competitive price. Remember, it's not an online program. This is a taught program with fly-in faculty. And make sure you see the Stafford website for the latest fee information, because it can change between intakes. So just make sure you're getting the right one. What's also good about the Northampton EMBA on the top of the slide rather than MBA, but anyway, the Northampton EMBA, the duration, I think 18 months is about right. Remember, everybody on the program is working, so they're all trying to fit things in with their work lives and family lives and everything else. So I think 18 months is about right. Any longer, students can lose motivation. Any shorter, and it just becomes too busy to fit everything. There's lots of support. I mentioned the teaching and the assessment and the assignments are all strong points for the Northampton program. And also because it strongly emphasises vocational or job learning as well as the theories. Now, I put that this is attractive to employers who are more interested in practical knowledge and also makes studying for the EMBA more enjoyable and relevant to the students. So it's not an overly theoretical program. There is theory, of course, but it always emphasises the practical, how you can be better in your job, better as a manager. How did I forget? Right. Oh, I'm even fast. I seem to go through that even quicker today for some reason. But anyway, there's my short presentation on the EMBA. Because what's important is, let's have a look at your questions. As I say, the easiest way to do that is just to type your questions in the question box, and I'll read them out. And I can see I've got some. Okay, my first question. Does this MBA, well, why does this MBA not have any external accreditations, and is this necessary? Okay, you need to be very careful when you use the word accreditations. The University of Northampton is a fully accredited British governmental university. So it's fully, you cannot be a British university, you cannot award degrees unless you're fully accredited and audited by the government's quality assurance agency. But on top of that, you have usually private companies that will offer additional accreditations. And the most well-known ones in the business world are AMBA, Association of MBAs, EQUIS, European Quality Standards, and the American one, the AACSB. So these are additional things that business schools or universities can seek if they wish to. Is there any benefit to these accreditations? They can't harm, I'm sure. You know, this is a way that universities will differentiate their programs from others. But just bear in mind, if you are at a UK governmental university, your degree is fully accredited anyway. My next question, will the workshops cover the assignment topics? Yeah, absolutely. That's an important part of the workshops. Generally, we'll cover the material first, then before we finish the workshop, go over in a lot of depth exactly what we want you to do for the assignments. And then what you do between then and your next module is you'll be working on your assignments. You'll have that VLE, that integrated learning environment, all the material there, and then you'll hand in your assignments. Tutors will give be there for questions and give feedback on drafts, all that type of thing. What is the maximum time that I can complete the MBA? Oh, I always forget. I always get this wrong, whether it's either 4 or 5 years. It's one or the other. So you get plenty of time. So if something happens and you get ill, for example, you can take a study break and then start again a bit later. But it is by far the best, if possible, to stick with your timetable, stick with your program. Then you get through it with your classmates. But if something does happen, you can take a study break. Why are there no examinations in this MBA like others? Yeah, so as I mentioned, University of Northampton prefers assignments because it gives students an opportunity to really think about their answers. It gives them an opportunity to research, to be able to support their answers, whereas exams are more about just how much you can remember. So that's why Northampton prefers the assignments, because it's a more in-depth process. Also means students can think about the practice as well, because a number of the students are related to, a number of the assignments are related to the student's own work practices. So if you give assignments, that means you can think about it in context of work. Will this MBA secure me a job internationally? Well, of course, that's going to be up to yourselves. There's all sorts of factors that go into that, but certainly in terms of a qualification, having an executive MBA from a British university is certainly going to be something that's really going to help you, that's for sure. And my last question is, do I get constructive feedback on my assignment? Well, I hope it's constructive. Your tutors will certainly try to make it constructive. So do I get constructive feedback on my assignment? Yes, you do. And your assignments are marked not just by your tutor, they're marked by your tutor, they're second marked by the module leader, and then a sample of them goes to an external, which is somebody from a different UK university. All UK universities follow that system. So it makes sure that the grading is fair no matter which university you go to. But anyway, back to your question. So yes, you get constructive feedback. And then the next part is, if you fail, do you have the second chance to submit? Yes, you do. Automatically get a second chance. If you fail the assignment the first time, we will be allowed to resubmit the assignment. Although the resubmitted assignments are capped at a C- at a passing grade, because of course you can't just have 2 goes at an assignment. You have 1 go. If you fail, then you have a go with the resubmission. Can I do a dissertation in any topic I choose? Yes, you can. It could be marketing, it could be HRM, it could be OB, it could be finance, accounting, whatever. Of course, as long as it's business and management, but it can be anything. I've got another few questions. Why does this MBA not have specializations? Yes, you do have universities that have MBAs with specializations. But when the MBA first came about, it was actually supposed to be a generalist program. It was supposed to teach people, no matter what industry they were in or no matter what field they were in, about how to manage. So that's when MBAs first came about. They always started with the different functions of management: finance, accounting, marketing, HR, etc. So it was always meant to be a generalist program. And that's what the University of Northampton is. So it's relevant to anyone in any sort of industry or any program. But more recently, specializations on MBAs have come about, and they have their merits, but that's a slightly different thing. You know, if you want to do an MBA in marketing or HRM, whatever. But as I say, the MBA originally was designed to be a generalist program. And my last one. Oh, I think I've covered this one. What topics can be covered in the MBA project? Yes, as I mentioned, that can be anything business and management, anything you like. Okay, I think that's probably all. Very good. If there are any questions that come to you, let me just give you my email address. There we are. You can always, if anything comes to you later, you can always just email me on that address, and I'll do my best to answer. So as I say, we've got the 32nd intake coming up in about 3 weeks' time. So I hope I will see some of you at the workshop face to face. But I think I've covered all the questions. So that's the presentation for tonight. Have a good evening, everyone, and I hope to see you on the program. Bye for now.